veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome in, chatters. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing?
I'm great.
Hey, right. Ron, how you doing over there?
Doing good here.
Oh, wow. Was it like maybe about 70, 80 down there in Houston? Are you even in Houston? Because you're all over the world. Where are you?
Yeah, it's Houston. It's hot, but it's a rainy day today.
Rainy day? Okay. And Miss Keena, the Audacity podcast queen.
I'm doing good. I'm ready to chit chat about this show tonight.
Hey, all right, let's get it going. How's everybody out there? How was your weekend? Joshua, good to see you again. You were just in the chat earlier when we did the Married at First Sight live. Guys, if you haven't seen that, be sure to go over and check out. We got a very special guest. You will never guess who is my co-host for the Married at First Sight episode this week. Go over and check that out, okay? You will never guess. And oh, by the way, we may have a special guest drop in later on this podcast. So be sure and check that out too. Stay tuned. Stay all the way to the very end because we've got a special guest coming in with some tea on the RTL folks. What's going on in Miami? I don't know. What is really going on? Keena, what do you think? You're our roving reporter. What is going on with these folks in Miami part 2?
I don't know. Ron's boy Blake, they done went into the grave site on him and dug up some dirt. So
Yeah. Well, his ex. What can you say? The guy's ex apparently are talking. They spilling the tea.
But my thing is, he was 20 something years old. So someone dig up some shit at me about 20. God knows what they're gonna find. So to his own. Everybody was, he was 20. So she should, she a little thirsty trapping for trying to put that out there. But at the end of the day, it does fit his storyline.
Okay. Well, Ron, now what were you saying? Because this is someone you obviously know.
I'm saying you can't with the blogs with on lipsticks, but you can't believe nobody coming up with stories on those sites and those things.
I don't know. We got somebody coming in here later. We'll see.
We'll see. But I'm saying a lot because I look at it as if anybody I dated in the past is not gonna go somewhere and expose her business, my business. You know what I mean? On some thing like that. We ain't celebrities or anything. It's not worth it. Why would you want to have to face this man?
When women are hurt, they do whatever. She was hurt.
Well, Keena and Ron, is it hurt, or sometimes is it a cautionary tale? Sometimes people go out and literally, I feel like they may be just letting other women know that this is what I dealt with. Now you're right, Ron, to your point. If it was 20 years ago, or Keena, whichever one said that 20 years ago, 15 years ago, because I'm reading some other exploits that were more recent. But if it were 20 years ago, perhaps he changed, but perhaps he didn't. We don't really know, do we?
He's a military man. They got a lot of stuff with them. So
Hey, when he was in Houston, he was a ladies' man. I told you that from day one. So
say that again, Ron. My hearing's going in this one ear. What did you say again?
I said when he was in Houston, he was a ladies' man. I told you that from day one. I gave him that.
Okay, ladies, you hear that? Well, you know what? See, I tried to tell y'all all along. There's something going on with this brother Blake.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Like the date.
Well, you say it's nothing wrong with it, but the problem with that is you're a man, so of course it's not going to ever be anything wrong with it until you become a dad of a girl who becomes a woman and she's dating a cat like your friend. See, then you're going to understand.
I understand because these city girls be doing some of the same stuff. I run into it all the time.
Oh Lord, not the city girls. Y'all still ain't never explained to me this city girl term. Y'all know I don't know what that is.
Hot girl summer.
The hot girls. Okay, the
hot girl summer.
the hot fast girls maybe. Okay. I don't know. Y'all a mess. Y'all a mess in here. Y'all just a mess. But let's go ahead and get this party started. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic today. So I'm ready to get this party started a lot with this episode. So we need to just dig into it.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna get started then. All right, I'm just gonna read these cue cards. Okay, opening. The men are literally fishing on the dock of the bay together when Tommy drops by to ask them about how their process is going. He wants them to explore their potential connection, and to wit, he is throwing a yacht party on the yacht, and one woman must go home. Okay, all right. So we see in the next scene, in the actual date, we see Mark Anthony and Jeffrey are doing the mechanical bull riding. I think that Mark Anthony, you guys can correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think that Mark Anthony apparently is a natural, but not so much her. And Blue meets up with Marcia. And she proceeds to exclude any and all outdoor activities that Blue likes to do, including fishing, camping. She ain't with it. She ain't having it. Okay, guys. So any thoughts? What are your thoughts about these first two dates?
The mechanical bull is crazy. So me personally, I've never been on a mechanical bull. My children have been on it. I've paid for them to go on there, but I'm not doing that. That's a crazy thing. So you got to be on that thing a few times to get a knack for it. So apparently Jeffrey don't have a knack for it. But I do like Mark Anthony a lot. I think he's a good-looking guy. He's very laid back, cool, calm, collected. He's kind of letting the process come to him, but at the same time being assertive. And that's a very odd dynamic throughout the Ready to Love kind of series. He's being assertive, but still letting it come to him. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about him.
I think you have a good point. Keena, you have any thoughts? Is Jeffrey apparently riding is not her thing, at least on these various animals, live or mechanical? Because remember, didn't she ride the horse before? And we saw
they keep letting her ride. I mean, she's the rider of the show. Shit. I mean, every time you turn around, she on the horse, she on the bull.
Keena, now I was over there on your podcast and I ain't heard not a near curse word, Doc. Can you keep it clean over here? Because they be striking my videos. They be striking them, and that's not good. But go ahead. She's the rider. Go ahead.
She's a rider. She's a rider. Production knows she's a rider, so they want to keep her riding. She's a rider. Every time we turn around, they got her up on something.
Up.
I ain't got a problem with it.
Hush over there before you get us thrown off the air completely. They just pull the plug and throw Ashley Aubrey's channel into the abyss. Ron, what you think? Is she a writer or is she gnawed?
I mean, they're trying to do this South Florida country girl thing with her. I guess that's the theme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the narrative they're trying to give us.
They're trying to give her a little narrative, I guess.
Oh, okay.
To be different than
but I don't even buy it.
Well, but outside of the narrative, what did you actually think of the actual date, Ron, since we got you on screen? What did you think of the actual date?
Like I said, I like Mark Anthony too, but it ain't. These women are attracted to him, and he's just sitting back, not having to do much. And I think, did she ask him on a date? Was he willing to deal with her 3 kids? And his excuse was, I come from a blended family. Come on now.
He was undecided.
He ain't gonna sit up here with no 3 kids. This guy.
No, you're right about that. Now
y'all ain't being realistic. Some of these women just want to go to the end with the good-looking guy so they can get a little extra shine because they're not here for the right reasons anyway. So they'll go along with something like this.
You don't think that this beautiful lady may actually want a mate and a father figure for her children? You think that she's just there because he's good looking?
Yeah, she's not.
She doesn't have a problem getting a man. Look how good she look. She don't have a problem getting a man. She doesn't have a problem getting a man, but she got baggage. I mean, 3 is a lot.
Are we? Whoops! Wait a minute! Wait!
That's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Are we calling children baggage again this season?
Well, I'm a woman with children. For me to date a man with 3 kids, I'm like, oh, whoa, that's a big of a step, and I have children, so that's a big step for me. So he has no kids, so that's a big step for him to go into that type of situation. As good as he look, established as he is, he gotta, he gotta weigh that option.
Good point. Good point.
All I see are $3 signs with legs. When I see that's it, bro.
What?
Them kids,
signs. Oh,
them kids expensive, man.
Yeah, they ain't cheap. They definitely not cheap. You're right about that.
It's a whole different lifestyle the way he lives and what he wants to. It's not realistic. Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
I mean, and if you gotta think like that. If you're trying to be in a relationship and there's only 10 choices, you gotta think about what works. And if you want to be honest, Blake was what worked for her. They both got 3 kids. They both probably are attracted to each other. You could have Brady Bunched them kids up and started a little thing going on and stuff like that. But
you say you could have Brady Bunched them up. The older kids, Blake's older kids, could have been mentors to Jeffrey's younger kids, huh?
Well, at least he understands the situation. You know what I mean? So you need that.
I agree. You know what? Now, you know what, Ryan? It's not often when you and I are on the same page, but I honestly have to say I agree. I was kind of looking at Jeffrey side-eyed in this episode, like, why did you ditch DeMario? Because never mind, let's face it, Jeffrey and Blake are like oil and water. They do not mix, and she does not want him, and whatever he thought he wanted with her, we're seeing. We'll get to that in a minute, but I was side eyeing. Hey there, Jay, welcome in. I was side eyeing this woman on this episode because I'm like, clearly this young man who doesn't have any children of his own is not interested in being saddled with no ready-made family. Let's like you said, Ron, let's be realistic here, right? And what are your thoughts on that, Jay?
I'm sorry, I just walked in. I don't know what's happening. What are we talking about?
Oh, okay. We're on the dates. I know you just came in. I just pulled you in. We're on the dates right now. We were talking about, that Jeffrey and Mark Anthony went riding. They always got this woman up with her beautiful self riding some type of real or mechanical animal. And when they sat down to chat later on, we're talking about the fact that she's basically letting him know she's got the 3 kids. That's her situation. But he's basically letting us, the viewers, know that, he's never really even dated a woman with children. It doesn't sound like that's him.
I mean, look, he here trying to get some votes. I don't know how serious he is. If you never dated a person with kids, period, and you're going to jump in with 3, that's a little bit much. As far as her riding all these animals, she keeps saying she a country girl. I don't know what part of country of Florida she from. I guess she do gators more so than any other livestock, because we have yet to see her ride anything properly. Okay, I'm really tired right about now.
She look good on that horse.
She could look good sitting in the chair. She's a beautiful woman.
She look good wherever she is, whatever she's doing. She look good.
But I'm gonna need her to stop trying to tell everybody she's from the country and she can't ride a horse, a mechanical bull, a pig, a bicycle. I'm not really understanding what the problem is right now. Like, what part of the country was you from, and what was you doing in the country? Like, mechanical bull is easy.
High Vibe has an interesting idea. She said if Jeffrey and Blake were to get together, they could make the kids a Jackson 5 or maybe even a Jackson or what is his name?
Yeah, we're not trying to do the Brady Bunch. We ain't trying to do the Brady Bunch.
We ain't trying to do the Brady Bunch, but we might be doing the Jacksons or the Blakes, because apparently that's the last name, right? So, yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, and then too, so we get back to Marcia's talking with Blue. Now she tells him right off the bat she's not an outdoorsy type of lady. She doesn't like the outdoors. She doesn't care for fishing. She doesn't care for anything. Oh, and by the way, she don't date men with children. So Blue looks at her and says, well, you know what? Should I leave now? So what do you think, ladies? Did she put her foot in her mouth too quickly? Or, should she have put all that out there? Because how does that come across to you in a dating situation? Keena?
I like that she was honest. I mean, why lie about something that you don't like? If you don't like being in the woods, why be like, oh yeah, I like being in the woods, and then your next date is in the woods? Like, why lie? Why lie about it? So she was honest. Like, I don't like camping. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't like bugs. You know, this is
I
me.
don't like raccoons. She said, I don't even like raccoons and all like that, right?
Yeah, this is me. So I actually like Marcia. I like that she keeps it honest. She's fun. She's bubbly. I mean, it might have come off a little bit like, dang, because they might not share a lot of interest. But I thought that she was keeping it real, and and it came off maybe for him like, okay, she's in the friend zone. But I like Marcia.
Yeah, he did say that. Ron, what do you think? Do you think that all those things put her in the friend zone, or was it something else?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the friend zone, but he couldn't make a connection with him because it wasn't a match. So he's looking at it like these dates are premium. He's like, why am I here? I could have been on another date with somebody else I wanted to be. She was honest. Like I said, I've known women that don't like outdoor stuff. I know women that like the country and don't like city stuff. You just got to be upfront with it, and maybe you can, change their mind later. The kids thing, though, you got to be a little more open about that in 2023 because everybody's kid situation is different. You can't just say you're not going to do it. You just got to say, I might not prefer, but let me keep an open mind.
That's what I thought, because my thing was, I see Keena's point too, to be honest, but I actually kind of found myself wondering a lot of the things that she said no to. Has she ever even tried them? Has she ever even been fishing?
I mean, with the kid thing, if you look at Simone told straight up on the set, and I knew her way before, that she would never date a man with kids. Rashid has a kid, you know what I mean? So you got to keep an open mind. You might be blocking your husband.
I think if you get to be 34, 35 and beyond, I think if you don't want to keep an open mind, I think you might want to just, wrap it all up and call it a day, because you're not finding these men out here don't have children, don't have baggage, don't have exes or whatever. People, men and women, are going to come with more and more baggage the older they get. So if everybody's waiting around to be 30 something to get married, you might as well expect some baggage.
Yeah. And not to mention, as you get up in age a little bit, you get above 35, above 40, you've been in a few relationships, you've been hurt, whatever. And now you're managing a bunch of pain as well. So people have to get through that, because how you manage your pain and allow yourself to be vulnerable again, that's always another issue that you have to deal with when you start to get up there in age a little bit.
Listen, Marcia said the only baggage she wanted to come with a boarding pass. So y'all let that woman be. If she want a man with no kids, that's what her preference is. If Korea want a man with money, that's what her preference is. I can't knock people for stating their preferences. No. And
yeah, but y'all mad at Blake though. Y'all mad at Blake for saying he didn't want no kids. No.
Blake said he had 13%. That's a goddamn lie. Now, if he stayed with the no kids, that would be.
Y'all just don't want me to have a channel, do you?
What? GOT? I can't say God.
Okay, oh, yeah. Y'all heard it. I caught it at the end, but they got. You two got them bots, and them bots don't be caring about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like you can't. I could I could rock with a person that says what they mean and mean what they say. Like if she says this is what she wants right now, this is what she wants. Some women really don't see kids at all in their life.
What do you? Wait.
I'm not sure if you really want it or not right now. So if I don't want to deal with a man that got them.
What do you mean? I want to, because I'm lost as listening to you.
I got family members that are women and they don't want kids. Period.
Oh, they don't want them at all. Yeah. They're not considering them. When you said
they're not considering, they don't see them. Yeah, they don't see them in the future in their life now, and they might change later on down the road. But they grew up their whole thing like, I don't want kids. I don't want to do it. So I can't knock somebody who is standing in their truth and being who they say, especially when we sit here and scream, you need to take down your representative. Stop showing people your representative. Well, here it is. This is a person not showing the representative.
So Jay, you wouldn't have a problem with Blake had he not did the 13% thing.
Yeah, I would not have a problem. If that's what you don't want, that's what you don't want. You got 3 already, so I can't be mad at you. That's what it is. Now, if I want kids, I just got to move around.
Yeah, the 13% could also be, things happen. You know, you
That,
know what I
but
mean?
you know what? If I took him from really saying that like that, which he didn't. Like I said, people could say what they really want on here. Excuse my dog, because she want to be all up in the camera right now. But
Okay.
people they not articulate what they really mean and stuff. And so when you say you tell Natasha the truth, but you go to the next lady and give them a 13%, come on now.
Right.
I thought he meant
shiesty.
financial. You run into a woman that's making 2-3 million, you might be open for a kid. But he said, yo, I'm already paying for 3 of them. I'm 44 years old. He said the line, I'd rather be saving for retirement right now than paying for another kid. So that's why I'm not.
But that's what I'm saying. Stay with that. Don't sit here and just be like, well, you know, if that asset's looking nice on you.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I might drop something off in there. Like, no, don't do that. Like,
that's how things happen, Jay.
Yeah, that's how things happen. But you keep it to yourself and let it happen. You know, don't sit here and wish it upon, and then when it happens, then you mad at her.
In other words, Jay, don't be a Fabrice, huh?
Well, he was honest too.
Fabrice tell you straight up what he was looking for.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't be too honest, because you know nobody's really looking for that. Just like men wanna down Corvea for being blunt and being honest. It's the same way with us women. I think sometimes both sides, both genders, we have to have finesse.
You know where I stand. I do agree that there should be some finesse to your game or whatnot, but I also believe that if you're 100% standing on who you are and what your belief is, be that. You know, and I'm a firm believer. There's somebody that's gonna like you for it. You're gonna find your person. That's actually how you weed out a bunch of people that is gonna waste your time. Okay. Because they're already saying they're not aligned to what you want, and so like y'all just need to move.
But you know what, Jay? The same token, you know, there's a lot of things that I said in my life, you know, I don't like that. I don't like that. Then once I tried some of the stuff, I actually liked it. You know, other stuff I tried, I didn't like, obviously. But I don't think if you never tried something, you can honestly say, I don't like it.
That's my point with going back to Sister Marcia. Like, it seems like to me, and I could be wrong, Marcia, you're welcome to come on the show and interview with us and tell me that I'm wrong. But it just seemed like, Dow, on that scene, that you really were saying no to all this stuff. Like, even if he said, let's go hiking, that's something that's outside, but you're not out there all day, all night. You just go hiking for a couple of hours. That could be some time away from all the confusion where you two could really chat and really get to know each other. I'm just saying, you don't like anything outdoors?
But I also think that, you know, they ask you all these questions, production, and they probably know that she doesn't like it. So they probably was feeding those questions doing a thing. Like, so do you like, actually she likes to hike? They know she don't like that shit. Oops, sorry. They know she don't like it. You know, so they're gonna like, because, and they only play those negative answers, like, no, I don't want to do this, no, I don't want to do that. I'm sure she talked about things that she does like eventually.
Yeah, that's a good point, because we really didn't get to hear, well, what are the things that she does do, you know? But I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna venture out as a woman, and I'm gonna say this: if the only thing a woman likes to do is just shop and be fed filet mignon, you know, and like I said, you've gotten to a certain age, and what has that gotten you? That hasn't gotten you a partner, a life partner, because men, typically, we as women, we're taught, at least my generation, we were taught that men are active. They like sports. They like to, whether they're watching or whether they're participating in them, they like women to be active with them sometimes. You don't want to be. I'll just tell you a quick story. I had a girlfriend that was married, and she had a husband who was very, very active, very athletic. He came from, you know, college. He was an athlete. And so now, as a man of 40 plus, you know, he's still athletic. He plays with these, you know, these men leagues, you know, ball, softball, whatever it's called or whatever. And she never went out to encourage him. And you know what happens at a certain point? There's some girl bending over in them Daisy Dukes that's going to encourage your husband if you won't. So I'm just saying, sometimes you need to give a little to get a little. You don't always have to like everything your husband does or your wife does, but sometimes it's about support. Why are you really together if you don't have a partnership? That's what I want to understand.
But why are we getting together if we're not even yoked in the first place? If I don't like these things and you a big sports addict or a big outdoorsy person, why are we even hooking up this far to go? Like, If you need me to be with you out in these woods and I don't want to get no bugs up on me, we don't need to be together. That's just what it comes down to.
Let me tell you, I dated, so I am not an outdoorsy girl. Everybody I date knows that I am very prissy. I'm very prissy.
And you
I'm
like the
very
filet
prissy.
mignon steaks. And you like that shopping and the filet mignon steaks.
I'm very prissy. I do not like outdoor stuff at all. Like I'm just not that girl. I'm just not her. But I will support you. Like if we go on vacation, you want to do all the excursions, I done signed you up for it already. Go ahead and have fun. I'm at the pool chilling. I don't want to do it because I don't want to ruin your experience. So the person I know that wants to do all this wild stuff, they already know, like, okay, Keena don't really want to do that, but you know, she gonna support me in it. But you got to be upfront with people in the beginning, because I'm like Marcia, I'm a no. I'm not doing it, you know. And then on the flip side, I've had vacations that went to hell because they don't believe in the things I say. And then before you know it, you got me trying to bungee jump, and then the vacation's ruined because no one told you to sign me up for that.
Bungee jump. If I said I don't like that or I'm afraid of heights, that's a little bit much, because that's getting into something that I may not ever overcome. And I actually happen to have certain motion sickness related to certain things like that. Now, you know.
Yeah, but then you got me crying on vacation, and now I'm pissed, and now it's ruined.
Go ahead.
But you know something, Keenan and Aubrey, we are, as human beings, we are ever evolving species. So, you know, what you don't like today, you may like tomorrow. So we are talking about the beginning dating process. But let's say, for instance, you're in a relationship and you two are evolving, and your mate is interested in something at the moment. You know, you need to try to, if it's important to them and you say you love them, then try it with them. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at on it.
How did we get to the loving part already if I told you up front I don't do these things? That's my point. Like, we forcing puzzle pieces that don't fit. Like, if you are a big advocate of being outside, and I'm a team outside person, I'm not going to really be with a person that don't like being outdoors. That's just my thing. Like, if I want you to be there, now I can be with you if I don't care for you to go with me all the time or go at all, period. We can work this thing out and figure it out. But I like to travel with my partner. I like to create memories. So for me,
all right, now,
if you don't like to do these things, it's going to be a big problem. We're not going to get to the I love you part to where we got to compromise and I got to make you come out your comfort zone for me. That's just how it is. That's how I look at it. And I feel, Keena, like, I'm going to tell you up front, this is what I like.
Yeah, now, I mean, I think that you have to be like, some things, like, you know, I've been hiking. I've done those type of things. I've done certain things, but if you want to just go,
hiking is very basic.
If you want to go camping in the woods with a tent, I'm not doing it ever.
Nah, but he was talking about a cabin, though. I mean, brother was talking about a cabin, man. I don't know if you've been. I went years and years ago to a cabin with my son's class when he was in middle school. And cabins, man, they ain't what you think they are. Some of these cabins are knocked out, dead gorgeous, and got all kinds of amenities to them. So
yeah, shoot me the website. Let me see it. No. Let me put my eyes on it. Then I can make a decision.
Cabin resort life, baby.
Okay, so we'll continue on from there. Despite trying the oysters, Blue admits that Marcy put herself in the friend zone, you know, by not wanting to try the hiking, the fishing, none of the stuff that he likes. Because clearly for him, to Jay's point, he's the kind of guy that wants to share these things with his woman. Some men maybe rather go fishing, hiking with the guys, you know, or by themselves, but he wants to share that with a woman, so they're not, as she said, they're not equally yoked. But also when she said, don't complicate your life by dating somebody with children, I thought that was a little bit, you know, okay, like you said, everybody doesn't have children. So and then we get to the yacht party, and we find out that Andre is not going to be there. He's ill. We know what he has. We don't say that word because YouTube does not like that word. And Jeffrey and Cynthia are saying that they miss him. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, really? Are you guys really missing him, or was he the backup guy? Is it just me seeing this, or is anybody else seeing that he could possibly be the backup guy for these two ladies?
Is he off the show for good, or he just didn't come to that episode?
No, the way
I
Tommy explained it, he's gone for good. He just like
Yeah, we
sayonara.
got COVID. You can push out a 5 days.
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
C word. Okay.
Yeah, they don't like that, Ron. But I know you know my Cash App, and I'm gonna get that Venmo. So I know I'm gonna be rolling the dough over here in a minute. I'll be traveling with you, okay?
I
Go
got you.
ahead.
But
What
yeah,
were you
it
saying
usually takes. I mean, you could test out at 5 days. Even then, this thing goes by so quick. That could be 2-3 dates missed. So it's hard. And they're serious about.
Oh, you're saying when you say it can go by so quick, you're talking about the actual show and the process.
Yeah, the
right?
filming and stuff like that.
Filming, okay.
Yeah, and they got to be real careful with it because a spread of that could shut down the whole show. I'm surprised it didn't already. I'm surprised that they caught it where it didn't even shut it down already. So
yeah, Ron, I was about to go there, Ron, because we've seen this before. Where somebody has gotten the C word and they returned. So I'm asking myself, I'm wondering if Andre is more ill than we can even anticipate.
I don't think it is. I think it's his timing. You know what I mean? Like, I bet he wants to come back. But like you said, they're probably saying, okay, we can't get through the 5 days. We got to at least give it 7 to make sure that he's clear. And then by then, look at all this we didn't miss. So, and then we just throwing him in. Everybody got connections. It's going to change the storyline that we already trying to produce. It's just hard to do.
But the other girl last season had COVID and she came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Looney came right back.
Word.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Looney came right back.
Oh, Looney. Yeah, Looney was out with the C word, and she did come back. Yeah, but you never know.
Or it could. I mean, does anybody verify he really had it? Because that's a really good cover up.
Yeah, I was thinking, to your point, I'm not saying that he did or didn't allegedly have it, but I'm also thinking, perhaps he had it, and perhaps he looked at this as an out. This show is not for me. This process is not for me. So, and I ain't mad at him.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was more to it because he could have came back. So I think that he probably was completely over the situation.
Well, didn't he have a great date? What was it with Cynthia where she was crying and leaning on his shoulder and giving him that big test?
Yeah, and after that, he said, "I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with these crying women."
I'm out. These women.
He got something at home he still got to take care of first before. Yeah. Okay, let me hush.
Okay. Oh Lord, y'all too much for me. Okay. Cynthia and Anthony chat about their kids. So they both have children. Cynthia has 3. Anthony, I think, what does he have?
One daughter.
He has just one daughter. That's right. They chat and they seem to be doing well.
I think Cynthia has 2. Let's get. Yeah, I don't want to throw an extra kid on her.
I'm thinking of Jeffrey. You're right.
Yeah.
Cynthia does only have 2. I'm sorry. Cynthia has 2. Anthony has 1, and they're chatting. And apparently, like you said, Ron, he is a girl dad, and he's talking about what he has planned for his daughter's future. He's very protective. He sounds like he's a really good dad, and these two seem to really kind of understand each other from that level of being a parent and what that's all about. So I'm really enjoying their conversation. DeMario's talking to Marcia. They seem to be getting along. Jeffrey is holding on to Mark Anthony, but then Blake ushers his Susu away to give her a bracelet for her snitching on Jeffrey, which is all I mean, guys, am I wrong? Is the bracelet for the dry snitching, or is the bracelet because he just really thinks she's the most beautiful woman in the world and he just has to have her? What's going on with this bracelet situation?
It's loyalty.
Loyalty.
Hey, I mean, loyalty is important when it's a bunch of snakes in the water around. You appreciate it a little more.
Oh my! No, he didn't say the loyalty and the snakes. No, you didn't. Oh my Lord! What do you think?
I think he's marking his territory. I think that's a part of being very territorial. I remember when we were younger, when I was a younger man in my teens, early 20s or whatever, when we wanted to prove that a woman was ours, we would do things like put a hickey on her neck and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay, right. Mm-hmm. You would mark your territory with a hickey. Oh, my God, that's so far back. Oh, my Lord.
Right. That's way back.
Way
I'm,
back.
yeah.
Way back. Yeah.
I'm aging myself now with that one, but
Holly, I just got a
Jay.
question. Did you mark your territory with people that you didn't like, or I mean, did you like these people?
Ooh, good question.
yeah, the ones I
You
really
just
liked.
The ones
The
you
ones I
really
really
liked?
liked.
the
Okay,
ones. Notice he
yeah.
said ones with an S, like like
Yeah.
6 or 7 ones.
But my point is proven. Okay, I'm gonna go with Ron on the loyalty gift because he don't like that girl like that. I said this last week. He don't like
You
nobody.
can't say that though,
He don't
because
like that girl.
during the process of
We
ready to
saying
love,
it, Ron. We saying it. He don't like that girl. But
during
go
the
ahead.
process of ready to love, people grow on you. Like I said, I just told you, Swayze and what's it? They didn't like each other when they first got on the thing. People grow. Me and Alexis did not like each other when we first got there. People grow on you within the time that you're on the show. So you can't say that he don't like the person right now. They can
He
grow.
like her loyalty and he like her vote.
There you go. I'm in that camp, Ron. I'm sorry, and
He's
guys,
getting nowhere. You
in the
don't know
chat,
where. It might be a different spark there or something like that, and it grows into something. I've seen it many times on the show. So,
Well, here's the thing, Ron. I'm not sure how much this is true with what's being said by exes, his behavior on the show, but it just seems to go with his character that he's marking his territory. This is mine. That's what it seems like to me. It has those vibes to me.
But have you seen that from him? I haven't seen that yet. I ain't seen no controlling, this whole narcissist, this whole BS that production put together. I've not seen it yet.
Well, we getting there, Ron. And I hope our special guest makes it in. So, but we're getting there. You may not see it. I also think
I'm looking for examples. I ain't seen it.
No. But here's the thing too, and you can think about this when we get to that part. But just think about this for a second. I also think it occurred to me that really men don't see threats the same way women do. So in other words, you're a man, right? So you're not fearful of another man the way we are. And when I say that, I'm not even talking just in the physical sense. There's an emotional component because, see, you're not dating men. So like someone said earlier in the chat, you're never going to see dating a man the same way you would see a friendship with your friend Blake. You're not going to see him in that way because unless you're dating him, you don't know him that way. You feel me a little bit?
A little bit on that, but also don't got past trauma either that are getting triggered by every little thing that might seem like it was something.
Whoa. Slow down.
Talk to him, Jay. Slow down.
It ain't always past trauma or nothing like that. It's just that we see things that y'all don't see and y'all see things that we don't see. And
exactly.
Certain things, like certain women flirting with y'all and y'all be like, oh, I didn't know that's flirting. Yeah, okay. You might not, but we know. It's things like that. Like there's a thing, our gut, that's why women's intuition is an actual thing. Lets us know somebody is not right. And it's not always because of past traumas. No, as you want to say. It's just that God has placed a warning inside of us to keep us protected.
Right, because we need that. We need that being the weaker sex physically. We need that. We need that intuition. And unfortunately, these days, I feel like a lot of modern women ignore the red flags. They ignore the signs because I saw a lot of signs with your boy Blake right from the first episode. Like, for one, he's arrogant. And you can't tell me that he's not, Ron. You can't honestly tell me that man is not arrogant.
It's confident, arrogant. I mean,
no, he's not confident. He's arrogant. And there is a difference. There is a difference.
And I just want to say for the record, men ignore red flags too. It go both ways.
Absolutely. But again, because we are the weaker sex physically, there's much more that women have to lose than men do physically. You get in a relationship with the wrong guy and you end up unalived. Okay, let's just say that. Right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. I agree with that.
Yeah, so we'll move forward. Morgan shows some insecurities to Tony. So Morgan is sitting there with the preacher, with the PK Tony.
Praise
Tony,
the Lord.
Yes, praise the Lord and
hallelujah. But
Morgan, I mean, Tony's interesting because he's warming up to all the women. He's warming up to Jonique. He's warming up to Morgan, and he says that she's insecure. She says that he neglects her, which I'm trying to wonder, guys, is it too early for her to feel this way on a singles playing a dating game? That's the next part. Okay, so let's talk about that. Is it too early for her to feel that way? For Morgan to feel like Tony is neglecting her?
No.
Why, Keena? Why do you feel that way?
Because she's feeling that way because she's living it. So they're, these people get on the show and they have all these sidebar conversations and everybody's talking and then all the girls are group chatting. They like, there's probably like, oh, I'll just got off the phone with Tony. I'm just hypothetically saying. And so she like, dang, like every time I turn around, he's supposed to be in my top, but he probably like, is the lady man of the show. Clearly he is a ladies man. Like his whole persona is
exactly
he is a ladies man and he's spreading that through. And
what's he spreading again? He's spreading what? No, go ahead.
He's spreading that like, like his persona, like you could just tell what type of dude he is. So she's probably sitting there like, oh, he not on the phone with me, but he was on the phone with her. And then another person said that he was on the phone with her because that's what happens in these shows. They be on the phone all dang on day. And she probably like, I mean, okay, well, I'm not about to sit here and be waiting for you to call me. Let me go holler at homeboy, and that's probably what happened because she probably seen it. He's full of crap. Tony is full of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. One of those women's intuition. Yeah,
I mean, he's a nice looking guy, but he's putting Jesus to the front and he's full of it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing with Tony.
A snake oil salesman. He's like a snake oil salesman.
He's a little short, and he was on. And some guys play the game like this when they get in there. They say, "Okay, I got to get every girl's vote in order to stay up. I'm not Mark Anthony. I can't just get one of the top girls' votes and be good because they're just going to keep me on there." So he's hustling. He came in hustling. I got to get at least 4 girls, at least put me in their top 3 so I can stay on, Once he understands that he's going to be able to stay on for a while, I think you will see him relax. I think you'll see him get a lot more intentional. And I think you'll see him try to make a connection there. But right now he's scared. All these people are scared. They're going to get voted off every second. When you're in Ready to Love, you start thinking at this stage, you start thinking 2 plays ahead. You're like, oh, well, if she leaves, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? That's the way you be thinking. I'm going to be the next one to leave and everything. You already know where your spot's going to be at, where you're going to get eliminated in your head. So he's trying to get more votes going on like that.
So what you saying is he's here for the game and not for the love.
It's a game going on. Like,
I know it's a game
everybody
going on,
knows
but
that,
if I find my person, I'm not playing the game no more.
Well, you're not going to be able to find your person if you're not on. In the beginning, it's a game to everybody. And then you get to this point where they go, okay, no more finding 5 connections, narrow it down to 1 or 2.
But but at the beginning, he acted like he was sold on Morgan. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
He's gonna need more votes for Morgan to keep on.
You talking about Tony, right,
Jay?
He's gonna need more votes for Morgan to stay on.
I like what Morgan did. She flipped that. She flipped and turned it, and she put it right in his face. Like, no, what's the other dude name? Lydell? London. She was like, yes, London. Thank you. Bye. I loved it. He was sitting there looking stupid, like, oh shoot.
It upset him. He was a little bit upset.
As he should, because he think he's Mr. Casanova. No, sit down, have a seat. Bye.
Right. The singles start playing the dating games as Keena has mentioned. She's so far ahead of me. I love her. She's so progressive. Who is the best who is the best male kisser? Mark Anthony actually gives 2 foot rubs. He gives one to Jeffrey, and he gives the other one, I believe, to Mercedes. Is that right, guys? Is that Mercedes?
Mercedes.
Yep.
Mercedes or was it Marcia? I get them two mixed. No, Mercedes. Okay. And so then Jeffrey says that she didn't feel that this she didn't let the smooth rub fool her. Morgan declares Lyndon, Marcia, and this is the part that Keena's talking about. Morgan declares that Lyndon, Marcia, and herself are the sexiest on the yacht. After Jeffrey chooses Mark Anthony to kiss her, some of the men seem to be in their feelings. Slow down, DeMario. I mean, what did you guys think of all of that? What did you think of any parts of that? DeMario being all in his feelings or what? What did you think of that?
This the same game that got them in trouble. Was it last season or the season before with my man Tory?
DC, yep.
Yeah, DC. It's the same game that got them in trouble then, caused a whole bunch of strife and everything. And I think it's doing it again. And I think because it caused so much strife and drama in that season, it's going to cause it now. And they're doing that on purpose to cause that, to add more drama and intrigue to the show.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, I think DeMario got a lot of flack for being in his feelings, but I think he was 100% right. She did him horrible during this episode. She did that man horrible. Like you went on a date with him, and he's a little green. Like he's the type of person you probably, if a woman's saying some good things about it, he's probably like, okay, yeah, this could be something. Jeffrey has to understand what a guy like this is. She does have them 3 kids. So a man, if he's thinking about pursuing her, he has to move a little faster in his head. Okay, am I ready to be a family man and 3 kids? He's thinking these things before he can really even entertain her. So he probably thought it was a chance that, they were dating for real, or she was in his top and vice versa.
Right.
You kiss another guy right in front of me. I mean, I didn't see the kiss. You didn't already you just said he's the most attractive guy on there. So you didn't already put me out on that. And then when I finally have to deal with that and I get away from that on the boat, I'm just chilling with Sue. You come over and you start talking about another man within Blake right in front of me, like I'm not even there. Like I'm invisible the whole time. And he didn't know that she was talking to Blake at all because he wasn't in the women's lounge when she discussed.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't catch that part.
He didn't know about Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony came out of nowhere. So he's
out of nowhere.
Where all these guys coming from? She didn't talking about another guy like I'm not even there. She didn't kiss the guy. She didn't got a foot rub. She didn't name another guy more attractive than me. What's going on? All this stuff's hitting him like a brick out of nowhere because he doesn't know what's going on.
But Ron, how much of this? And I don't totally disagree with you, but how much of this is her doing him dirty and her just going through the process?
It ain't no process to us. You guys think it's a process. There's no process. When you kiss another person, you just kiss another person. It ain't part of no process.
Well, wait a minute, Brian. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, yeah, because you're right. We absolutely don't get that. So you mean to tell me you was kissing on Alexis? That was not part of your process? You wasn't really feeling Alexis? Oh, this whole thing was just a whole mockery of the show? What are you saying?
Uh-oh.
No, Brian. You got me lost.
No, what I mean by process, I mean for a guy, it's like what I mean process for a guy, I mean when I'm getting an echo.
Keena, do you have your headset on?
No.
Yeah.
That may be the problem.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, mute your. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, so let's say if I'm kissing Alexis, the first thing I'm gonna do as a man is tell my other, people that is in my top 3. This is what happened. I kissed this girl. This is where I'm at. All the guys have to be upfront because if not, you look like a player. You look like this. You look like that to all the ladies. I can't say, "Oh, I'm following the process, girl. You know what it is." It don't work like that in real life or Ready to Love because the women are gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" No, you just kissed that girl. You didn't. You have to be. We have to be intentional. We can't say, "Oh, we're just doing that because it's part of the process." It don't work that way. Them girls will eat you alive. To them, is no process. To them, if you kiss somebody, you better let somebody know.
So she kissed somebody. Now I guess she considered dirty to the guy that was interested in her. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Well, he's looking like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, where's the loyalty? I thought you were in my top. I didn't know about this guy. You didn't tell me. We've been talking on the phone every day. You didn't tell me you was interested in no Mark Anthony. He comes out of nowhere. You didn't. Now you just say he's the most attractive guy over me. You didn't kiss him right in front of me, and this is all new news to me. And then now come over here and the Blake news is no news to me, and we're just getting to know each other. So I'm like, man, I can't trust you now. I don't even like what's going on. All this stuff is hitting him at the same time.
Look at Ellen; she got cooties.
I thought that was funny. I had to put that up there.
And as a man, you gotta think of it long term because you're like, okay, if I go to the end with somebody. I'm responsible for that relationship to make it last because now I got a relationship that's in the public eye, and I got a relationship that my friends, everybody is seeing me going to the end and supposed to be with this girl. So I have to make sure that I trust her. I got to make sure that it's cool because I know I'm not going to have enough time to super fall in love with her by the end, maybe because it's going so fast. So men are thinking like this during the show. And when a girl does something like this, you're like, okay, I can't trust you.
So one question. You kind of helping clear some things up, and actually some things are getting more jumbled in my mind. But just answer one question for sake of the show. If you kiss a girl on the show away from the crowd, let's say it's not on the yacht in front of everybody. If you kiss, what's her name? The one you were, Kyra, right? Is it Kyra that was on your season?
Kyra, yeah, Kyra was on my season.
Yeah, was that? Oh, wait a minute, no, that wasn't you. You were into the flight attendant. What's her name?
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. I'll just say Chris. Okay, so if you kiss Chris away from Alexis and away from the others, and only 2 people know about it, unless Chris goes back, it's just you. It's okay. But now, if you then turn around and kiss Alexis, then that's okay, right?
It's not okay. If I would have kissed Chris, the first thing I got to do now is I got to tell Alexis.
And you would have done that.
Yes, in a heartbeat. 3 seconds later. Hey, I had a date with Chris. This what happened. You know, I'm still interested in you, but just letting you know so you hear from me. You ain't hear from nobody else. That's the way it's supposed to be if you're trying to be upfront with it in this type of environment where you're dating other girls and you're letting the women know, hey, I'm being truthful. I'm being honest. You can trust me. But it's not played that way. It's played different.
Well, this is why Tori was so hurt with Sabrina's situation, because whatever conversations they were having, she turned around at that game, Truth or Dare, and kissed somebody else. Same type of deal.
I'll tell you, when I was talking to Alexis and she kissed AJ and nobody told me for a week, and I guess kissed you on Valentine's Day with 3 days before, I was mad. I was highly upset because this is coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I'm over here being upfront, transparent, and stuff like that, and you're not being that. So to me, that's not cool. You're playing the game. I'm trying to be, realistic about this stuff. I have real stuff invested here. You have a kid. You have this. I'm trying to, you know what I mean, work myself into being husband material and stuff like that. And you're not playing by the same rules. It'll hurt a man. Maybe it's not supposed to. I don't know, but it does. So I understand what he was feeling in that moment.
Yeah, you got a good point. And I did say earlier that I felt like in this episode that Jeffrey is really kind of playing herself for the younger, cuter version of whatever she's looking for. Because let's face it, Mark Anthony is fine. He's good looking. He's younger. He's whatever. He's the latest model maybe. But the thing of it is, he don't want no woman with no kids. So why are you playing yourself like that, Jeffrey? Because this is never going to be more than a fling. Some.
And she's going to need his vote. She's going to need that other guy's vote. I don't know why she did that.
Absolutely. She's going to need, I don't have a problem with her going out with Mark Anthony. Don't get me wrong. But when she did all the extra with the kissing in front of everybody, yeah, I did feel like that.
And Mark Anthony doubled up. She should have did what Mark Anthony did. When he gave her a foot rub and then went over to Mercedes to make sure she got some attention. She should have did the same thing. She should have did that and then went over to him. Anthony gave him a hug, gave him some attention, and played it the same way.
Yeah, Mark Anthony did it right. He's smooth. I like him.
Yeah, you're right there. Because I was like, wait a minute, he going over to the other woman, but he just made it seem like it was just natural.
He knew better. He knew no women weren't going to go for that.
Right. Like, okay.
Mercedes, if he would have pissed and gave her the foot roll, Mercedes would have been looking at him like, hey, don't come back over here ever. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not a process, because she would have felt the same way. He just happened to go back over there and give her some love. If he didn't do that, it would have been a problem.
Right. And so as we continue on, DeMario chats up Corvea. They seem to be connected, because at this point, DeMario is like, F that other girl, excuse my language, but he like, forget her. She for the streets. Yeah. He's like, she's for the streets. And I absolutely get what you're saying, Ron. It's not really it's not necessarily equitable, but I do get it though. He's like, especially because she did it in front of everybody else. So like, now you make him look like a fool. I don't know if she's like friend zoning him or what, but whatever her plan is, this is gonna come back to bite her in the butt, I believe. Blake ushers Jeffrey. Now this is where we get to it. Blake ushers Jeffrey to chat about what Sue Ann told him. He says he's hurt and surprised, but he doesn't want to discuss what he heard. Ugh, what in the world? Can somebody help me with this? What man takes you away from another man that you snuggled up with on the yacht to tell you that he's upset and he's hurt, but then he can't tell you what it's about and what was said? What game is he playing?
Yeah, I had a big issue with that. when I saw that, because to take her upstairs and all we know is what we've seen on the show. We don't know what's edited, none of that kind of stuff. Because people love to say editing, you know. But
Right.
we know what we saw, right? So he takes her upstairs and she keep asking him, okay, well, what did you hear? I don't want to get into that. Well, what was said? I don't want to say. Well, who said it? I don't want to say. You know, would you bring me up? It's like, what you bring me up here for?
Next to my man, Mark Anthony, that little young sweet thing. Why you didn't leave me next to him? Because why you got me up here talking to your dimples and you ain't saying nothing? That's
and see, this is what I was telling Ron. Like I said, I don't know Blake. Hopefully he'll come on the show and talk to us.
Yeah,
but it seems like a control play, this territorial control type of play. He could have left her where she was. Because me, I would have said, listen, I need to talk to you. I would have told her exactly what my deal was. I would have said what I got an issue with.
He couldn't do it.
Why?
He couldn't do it. Why? Why?
Because one, if you looked at the conversation, she was not in the conversation in good faith. She was, before he was being a gentleman. He was saying, you know, this is how I feel. He's trying to connect, to have a conversation. She's rolling her eyes. She's combative. She's dismissive. She's looking like this and that. So now he's like, okay, she ain't gonna come in this in good faith. Now, what she was trying to do,
she's combative. She's combative. She simply asked him to.
You saw her look. You look at her facial expressions at him. Like,
yeah, she's
you knew
annoyed.
I
feel like in that moment she is annoyed. Ron, I feel like in that moment she's annoyed because he was being a
gentleman. He was talking to her very politely, very respectful, very you know what I mean. He was trying to get it out, and she was.
I don't think you want to see it. I don't think you want to see it on your friend. But you know what, Ryan? I'm gonna tell you something. That move, what he did, he gaslighted her.
I can only go by
He gaslighted her. That's why she's saying that's why she says he's a narcissist, because he's gaslighting her by playing in her face. He doesn't want to say, like, to Ryan's point, he doesn't want to say what it is.
Because he cannot throw Sue under the bus. That's a given, ready to love rule for castmate. So she's trying to bait him.
And you bring up a very good point. Sue threw her girl up under the bus. Not her girl, but one of the women.
She has no loyalty to her.
No. You're right. But I misspoke. But I'm saying, Sue threw another woman who spoke openly and freely in the safety of the women's lounge. She went and threw this woman under the bus. So what's up with that?
Because she has no loyalty to Sue or vice versa. Blake has loyalty to Sue. He has to, because that's his number one. So he cannot throw his number one over the bus. Sue has loyalty to Blake because that's her number one as right now. So they have loyalty to each other. So he can't throw his girl under the bus. And Blake, you see Jeffrey trying to bait him and to say, who told you, because she would love for him to say the word Sue. So now she can go to Sue and say, Blake, you know what I mean, and make a big mockery of this. But
we all know who it is, even without him saying it.
But you got to remember.
But could he at least have said what he was angry or hurt or upset about? Why couldn't he just say that?
Jeffrey said what she said to the whole group. So she doesn't know that it was Sue that told him. She could think it was, but yeah. So as long as Blake don't say Sue's name, he can't go, Blake told me you said this.
Okay.
And that's all that he needs right there. You know what I mean? I think he maybe said a little more, and maybe got edited out. But the fact of the matter is, he can't give her name up. That's part of it.
I want to hear what Jay trying to say. She's trying to get in. I want to hear what Jay's saying.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Can I interject? Okay.
Yes.
Because y'all both a little right and y'all both a little wrong. Okay. First of all, Jeffrey did have a full-blown attitude from the time he walked up and approached. She had an attitude. So yes, it does make a person have a hard time to have a conversation of, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, starting with you. Now, on the flip side, he could have addressed parts of the conversation without bringing it all out there. For whatever reason, I feel like it's very something dear to his heart why he don't want to address it. But if you're going to pull me to the side, you're best to say something, because I will act like Jeffrey. I'll probably come with you politely. But when you get to my face and be like, I heard you said something. Okay, well, what did I say? I'm definitely going to ask you, what did I say? Because I need to know. I said a lot. You guys know y'all be in them lounges for a cool little minute. I done said a lot. So I need to know which parts you're referring to and when you're referring to it. So I need some type of start and then I can finish it. Okay. So I do see both of y'all side. Like, he needed to man up and say something and say, I don't care if he threw Sue under the bus. He didn't even have to say Sue's name. It was told to me It was told to me, you said this, that, and the third. Is this correct? Let's address it. Now, whatever it is, obviously he don't want everybody all up in his business. So he should have waited till a whole nother time to have this conversation with her if he wasn't going to really have it with her in this moment. So I can actually see where Alice is coming in and saying it's a control play. Now that you think about it, it's like, okay, well, if you don't pull me up here for nothing, what was the point?
She knew what he was talking about because she went over to Sue and said the same thing. and said what he wanted him to say.
Don't understand. I would definitely know what you're talking about, but if you do not sit here and directly, no, I will play dumb, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I will play dumb. If you indirect me, you're not talking to me. You got to be direct with me before I sit there and tell you anything. Because if you pull me to the side like you want to talk to me, hey, I want to talk to you. Okay, well, go ahead and talk.
Right.
When I see that the conversation,
are you a man or a mouse? It's the question.
When I see the conversation not going to go in good faith, I'm going to back out of it like he did. I'm going to say, okay, well, we just going to agree to disagree. I mean, okay. Go back to where you was at.
And that's fair. I'll be like, okay, well, then we have nothing to talk about. And that's where it should have stopped. They walked away from it. He said, listen, I'm with you. And that's where it should have stopped. Now, when we go forward, I'm going to tell you where I have a problem with her. But I'm telling you now, in this moment, if you pull me to a side, if you pull anybody to the side and say, I want to have a conversation with you, despite how my attitude is, because I'm probably already irritated because I don't want to come in a verse. If you really want to have this conversation, you best to go ahead and direct at me. Because if you don't, we're just not going to have a conversation. We're going to waste both of us.
And I'll take your side on this. I believe he did say those things to her. I believe he said that because, you know, I told you she's her type, so he was probably attracted to her. They both got 3 kids. They are a match. Let's just keep it real. On paper, they are a match. So I believe he did say, yeah, I'm kind of interested in you. Why am I going on all these dates with all these people? But everybody talking that ish right now. You know what I mean? She knew that it was just, he gets kicking game like every other guy's kicking game on the phone. Nobody's backing anything up with any actions. So why? This is what happened. Let me rap right here on some real stuff. This is what production does. Mm-hmm. So obviously we see that Blake's the villain for production. He pissed somebody off or something. I know because he's being targeted. I know because I was being targeted at one point. What they do is a production person will get on the phone with all the women and she'll be acting like your friend and stuff. And she'll say, oh, have anybody talked to Blake lately? Anything juicy on the phone? and then she'll say, well, he told me that he's only dating me and interested in me. And she go, oh, say that in the women's lounge. That would be so spicy if you could say that in the women's
so spicy.
Yeah, that's how they do it. And then
Ryan, you off the chain.
Ryan, I'm seriously not doubting any of it. I'm not even doubting. I even drew a conclusion on Kojo's channel that he has probably divulged some sensitive information about himself to her.
To which one? Which lady?
To Jeffrey. And she's using it against him. And it could be about these exes that are popping out the woodwork. And we all have a past. Listen, we all have a past. And sometimes you're not too proud of parts of your past. And you might have said something like, I've done this and that and the third or whatever. And she took it and ran with it. I have no doubts about it. But in this moment right now, when you pull me to the side where he did wrong, Babby, please. What he did wrong is not address some parts of what she said so they can clear it up. Otherwise, he should have never pulled her to the side in this moment if he's not really ready to have that conversation. Regardless of how she feels, he should have known that she was going to come on 10 with the information he got back anyway.
Sound guilty while she coming on 10.
It does. It really does. But it should have been enough for him to sit there and say, what you said was wrong. And that was very hurtful. And he did say, I'm hurt by what you said, but he should have let's give her something so she can run with the rest and say, see this what I'm saying? This type of ish right here you're doing. That's wrong.
And also, Jay, she had her guard up already with the conversation because the tension has been building the last 2 episodes with them. So right away, her guard is up. When he's about to open his mouth, her guard is up automatically.
Exactly. So it should have been flipped. If he was in his line of work where he's supposed to be, it would have been flipped back on her and it'd be like, you see all this right here? You got a lot of venom for me, sis, and I don't even know why. I did nothing to you. Wow. I did nothing to you.
He hasn't done anything to her.
And that's why. And that's what I'm saying. In this moment, it's some part of me is hard for me to see him manipulated because I know how to manipulate some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It would have got put back on her so daggone quickly. You know what I'm saying? But then he might be trying to manipulate me by not manipulating her. So I'm just like,
I think he's
I don't think
very
he wanted to address
manipulative.
anyway.
In my opinion, allegedly, I think he's very manipulative, and I felt like he was gaslighting her. And then to your point, Ryan, now you bring up a good point. I'm giving you credit. You bring up a good point that for the sake of this show or the process or whatever we're calling it, he's having loyalty toward Susu. Lord have mercy, grown man calling a woman Susu. But he's having the loyalty. Keena, is your mic open? Because every time
she going in and out. Yeah, you good
well,
now, Aubrey?
You good now?
Okay, but anyway, but I feel like he's gaslighting her. I mean, you know, he can't say it, but then okay, so why didn't you think this through as a 40-something-year-old man? Why didn't you think this through? You couldn't say it, so why did you pull me to the side? What was the point? What was the point?
I think he really wanted to just tell her. I don't think he really wanted to discuss it. I think he wanted to tell her, stay out of my way. We don't like each other, apparently. You've been talking me on my back. You stay your side, I stay my side. I had to say that to a couple people, you know what I mean? A person on the, you know what I mean? Basically, like, let's just stay out of each other's way. Because if not, I don't want you I don't need you talking to other girls and stuff on my behalf, manipulating the conversation in any of my conversations. And I'm not gonna do that to you. So let's just stay, you do your process, I do my process, and stay out of each other's way. I could almost read his lips. That's what he was trying to get out to her.
That's what I wish that's what it would have boiled down to. But
he could have just said that then. When he got her alone, he could have just said, you know what? I did think there was a connection for us initially, but I can see now that we're not, you know, we're like oil and water, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I'm going to go my way, you go yours. We're all good. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't he just say that?
Because hindsight is 2020. Women are better at this than men are. You might have thought of that after.
Ryan, that too. But she could have said it too because she was saying all that in the ladies' lounge, like, I don't want you, I don't want this, I don't like this and that and the third. So she could have easily said, I don't know why you pulling me to the side because I don't, you know, we're not feeling each other like that. What's good?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Jay.
I agree with Ravine S right now with the comment that's on the screen because I got some stuff to say about Jeffrey later. You know.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna be fair to the men and the women. Like, you know,
we need to know how many baby daddies she got.
Yeah, like we need to know how many baby mamas.
Does that matter?
It does matter. It does matter.
Why does that matter?
I'll get into it later.
Okay.
We'll get into it later. I'll follow the magnetic repellent's lead. So Jeffrey goes down and, you know, we see her later. She's talking about Blake semi-confronting her because he didn't actually confront her. It was just so weird. But she's talking to Sue Ann and to Demario. And, you know, to Ron's point, I think that's a little odd, but maybe that's just the way Sue Ann and Demario happen to be talking. So I think she really is trying to address it with Sue Ann because even though Blake never told her it was Sue Ann, we all feel, all our spidey senses and every woman's intuition in our body is telling us that it's Sue Ann's big mouth dry snitching to Blake. So now Sue Ann decides she wants to try to save Blake from himself. She's like, you know, got the cape on. She's like, oh, you must have misunderstood. He's so sweet. He's so wonderful. He's my man. And look, he just gave me this bracelet too, girl. You know he got to be good. Sue Ann, her cross-examination skills, I feel, are very questionable for her to be an attorney because I couldn't figure out why she couldn't have told Blake what she needed to say without throwing Jeffrey's name into it, right? Because this is how this mess all got started. Plus, why is she telling things that went on in the lounge? I just don't understand. Is it just me, or do they change the rules every season? Because
there's
when
no
the men
rules on it.
Well, I mean, but no, you saying there are no rules, but we've heard Tommy, maybe you don't watch all the episodes like we do, but we've heard Tommy say he's addressed this before with the women, that what's said in the women's lounge is supposed to stay in the women's lounge.
I know, but have you heard something called the domino effect? Once one person do it, the next person going to do it because they feel it's okay. Day one, somebody's talking from the lounge. So once he does it, I'm free to do it. And once I do it, he feels free to do it. And once he feels free to do it, she does. And by the third episode, everybody knows everything. That's how it works. in reality.
First of all, I'm
I am not
a
mad that woman got a nickname because I think it's ridiculous. But
can y'all hear me? Because
yes,
I might be in an area you can't hear me. Okay. First of all, I'm a grown person. You me no daggone bruise if you ain't paying my bills. Okay. If I want to talk to my person and I'm gonna talk to my person, I'm gonna tell them whatever the hell I want to tell them. Now, she could have not said Jeffrey's name because we have seen it in the past where they had not mentioned. They just say the lady said this and the lady said that or whatever. But she apparently, so here we are, like. But we also know Jeffrey got something against the women herself because she was calling them thirsty for doing what they supposed to do, talk to the men. So I'm not understanding why every year the ladies always got to show out and have some beef with each other. And it's just like, girls, you're in your lane, I'm in my lane, I'm doing me, I'm not worried about you. That's how I just be looking at people. Like, I'm here for my man. I'm here to find a man. I'm here for love and maybe a hookup if I can't find that at the least. Like.
Well, Jay, some people just have a natural competitive spirit. It is a competition at the end of the day. Some people have a natural competitive spirit. It just comes out.
I get that, Alex. I compete. I've been competing all my life in sports. You know what I'm saying? And naturally, as women, we compete for men. But I'm not going to sit here and be coming at women for anything because a man said this and did that with him. Okay, that's just not the man for me then. All right, moving on. Like, I'm not going to do it. I refuse. I've just been in a different space all my life, I guess, because I just refuse. If a man is doing all this for you, that's your man.
Right. I'm with you on that. I'm not gonna fight over no man. You're not gonna scratch my beautiful face up over no guy. It's not worth it. If he wants me, he'll make it be known privately and publicly that I'm his woman, I'm his girl. But I'm not gonna fight over a man. Just like in my IG stories today, I'm not ever gonna drop down on the knee and propose to no man. That just is not happening. That's some crazy stuff right there. They got the universe all twisted around on the wrong axle. But let's move over to the gentleman's lounge. So we know that this week the men have the power to eliminate one woman. DeMario and Mark Anthony actually get into a heated discussion about the use of the lifeline because there's only one time they can use this lifeline to save one woman in the men's lounge. And later, so they gather the women together and we're back on the yacht with all the women and the men. They call up Marcia, they call up Jeffrey, and they call up Corvea. They're all called to the front to be eliminated, and we see that it's a cliffhanger on this episode. Any ideas as to who will be eliminated out of those three ladies?
I don't know who, but I know who I would like to go.
Who would you like to go and why? Because I know you clearly don't want the lady that rides the mechanical bull to go. You don't want her to go nowhere.
No, she can keep riding as far as I'm concerned.
Alex love the toxicity.
Listen,
I said Alex love the toxicity.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He loves to see the ladies ride too, so I think that's part of it.
Very much a turn on. But I think Corvea, I think she was very honest up front. Her thing about money, she gave those gold digging vibes. And I think when you, just like with my man Fabrice leading with the sex, or Blake saying right up front, I don't want no more children. And she led up front saying, it's about the money for me. You got to be to take care of me and so forth. I think when you lead with certain things, you're not leaving yourself open and vulnerable enough to even find real love. If you're leading with money, you're not open enough and vulnerable enough to find the love that you're seeking. So I know she's pretty and all that. But I think I probably would have voted her off.
What did she say that was so bad? She wants someone on her level or better. Who wants to date down? I mean, let's be for real.
She ain't said nothing real bad. She doesn't have a connection. That's her only problem. I think she's doing okay.
She actually does have a connection. In the gentleman's lounge, DeMario claimed her.
Nah, let me tell you what this is. Because he was going hard. And he barely went on a date with her or stuff like this. DeMario smartened up during this episode. When he saw old girl Jeffrey doing all that stuff and things of that nature, he had a realization moment that this is some BS. So now I got to start playing the game. And him fighting for her, it was him fighting for himself. Because he knows if I can save her and get her in, women have the power next week, I'll have a better chance of staying on. He gets smartened up. He wasn't fighting for that girl like that. He's fighting for himself. A lot of guys have been in that situation where they got to think 2 steps ahead now. I can't. At first, he was thinking with his heart, but he's like, okay, the girls are playing. It gets clicked to him this episode that these girls are playing. I got to start playing too. And that's why he was fighting so hard with him. You don't go that hard over that. You're trying to save yourself.
I see what you're saying, Ryan. Now that's a good one. What this is 3 times I agree with you in one podcast. I can't.
Can I address what Alex said? I'm gonna address what Alex stated. Like if Corvée, that's the case, she leading with money, then Marcia is definitely can go home just as easily too, because she don't want kids and she don't want to do nothing else and none of this stuff like that. So it's like both of them ladies is definitely at the, up for it for sure. We know Jeffrey is there because we see her in the preview, but like any one of them can go.
We did.
Because they kind of closed, both of them kind of closed themselves off in different ways. So
yeah.
But did anybody see the vulnerability of Corvée this episode when she did talk about why she feels the way she feels about being financially stable? She came from an impoverished background. Yes,
Aubrey. We know that's just normal common sense thinking. We need money to live. This is a capitalistic society. We need money to live. They're up here looking for love. And if you're sitting here saying, I can only be in love if you got money.
Hold on, because some people will live off the bare minimum as well. Okay. And she's trying to say, I don't want the bare minimum you're going to try to live off of with me. Because I know some people out here will do what they got to do and miss a couple of meals and all this stuff to get by. Some people don't care about having certain things in life, and some people do. So I'm not going to tell her not to go down or go up or whatever she want to do. If she want to live above her poverty level that she lived in childhood, she gonna do it. Okay, like my man is doing the same thing. He grew up in a certain way. Work is everything to him. So I'm not about to knock his hustle. Like,
men don't mind that. If you say, hey, man, I need you to be a provider, be the base, stuff like that, we're okay with that. But when you start talking about luxury lifestyle, it rubs men a certain way. We feel like we're being used there. Because that's extra. Like, you need extra. Now we feel used. So when she used the word luxury lifestyle, boat, yacht, stuff like that, that's, I think.
Now, Ryan, I don't disagree with you on that. I definitely agree that she should have been leading with this storyline that she got now. She should have led with that in the beginning, and that it broke people down to be like, oh, okay, I see why you want these things, or you want to have the finer things, and then sluck in, but if you could keep up my upkeep, that'd be great too. Just slide that in later on, but she did.
But here's the other thing, Jay. Men are already thinking that relationships are going to go through something. There's going to be a crisis. There's going to be things that happen down the road. And
somebody's going to get laid off. Something's going to happen. Right?
Yeah. If we run into a money issue, are you gone? Are you leaving? Because now we're running into a money issue. So this is how men think down the road.
That's right.
Kina, if you can, go ahead and unmute your mic, and we'll be quiet and let you talk.
I said, I like Corvée and DeMario. I like what they had, the conversations they had. I hope to God that they don't use the lifeline on her though, because it's just not enough substance there for them to save anybody, I don't think.
So you don't think that they're really you're not thinking they're really in sync or connected with one another?
I mean, I do, but they just got there. They just got that bond like this episode. So for them to use that one save on
Jay, mute your mic. Mute your mic, Jay.
Oh, is that Jay Mike that's doing that? Okay. Go ahead, Kina.
And I understand with Mark Anthony, he no, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. We haven't even gone through this process. We need to use that when we get down to the end. Give us a minute. Heck no. Why are we doing this right now? You don't know if you're even gonna like her in 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm
That's
saying?
what I was thinking. Right. We're too early into this process to be using that one elimination. It's
So
too
I
early.
understand where Ron's coming from, because it does sound like he was going too hard. So I definitely agree with Ron. Like, he definitely trying to save himself.
And you gotta understand, he's under emotional intense pressure right now, but what he gets went through was traumatizing. So he's
What he saw with Jeffrey.
Yeah, some of that anger that he's letting out on the guys is with the anger he want to let out on Jeffrey. He just can't do it.
Oh, you know what? I didn't consider that, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I can
he's
see
going all like that. But the problem is with them, they're not a match. I don't think they're a match. She wants a luxury lifestyle. Have you seen this dude's wardrobe, man?
Wait a minute.
Wait. Demario, I actually like Demario. He is a CPA and accountant. He does very well for himself. I think he could. Give her the lifestyle that she probably could want.
He don't do luxury though. He probably does stability. She wants luxury. It's a different thing. You know what I mean? He don't spend it on his clothes, so he ain't spend it on her shoes.
No, we're not about But first of all, by this man's omission, his own omission, this man said he's into fashion. So whether he want a doll to dress up and stuff, okay, let him buy her shoes and all that. Let her live her lifestyle. And if he want to provide it, let him provide it. Don't hate on this. Don't hate.
Congratulate.
I mean, I went on his IG page. You know, he seemed a little more flashier than what he is on TV. So I don't know.
Okay, I gotta see that side. I'm like, you in Miami, man, and some of them suits.
Maybe
that velvet shirt, and then it ain't working.
Maybe he dressing down because he was Prince from Zamunda, and he wants somebody to love him for him. Maybe that's what it is.
I know a cheap blazer when I see one. Oh my God.
I thought Hey, Ron, like he picked it up from the thrift shop.
It was fitting all over the place. It wouldn't fit in one spot.
Yeah, it's that purple silk shirt for me. Like, take that off.
Tell them the fashions are not fashion, and that's all we know. It's like it's not getting what it's supposed to give.
Not at all, guys. Starting up there at the top next to me, Magnetic Repellent. Tell everybody what you're doing over on your channel and when they can see you next. Just give them the whole rundown on that, please. And we're gonna close this out. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I say something about Jeffrey for a minute, Aubrey? I wanted to say something about Jeffrey.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
In the middle of the podcast, people were in the chat saying it's very important that we know how many babies daddy she got. And I think it's important too. It's always important to both men and women. And if you look at Jeffrey, to me, Jeffrey seems very cold. Almost when she looks at you, sometimes she seems soulless. I've seen this look before. And I'm trying to find out where's that wall that she's trying to protect herself from any pain. She's guarded to me. I think she's very guarded. And when she look at you like, because she's been hurt before. A lot of us been hurt before in these relationships.
Most of us.
Whatever the case is.
Many of us have been hurt.
Many of us have been hurt. Right. So I'm trying to figure out if she's really ready, if she's healed for one. She doesn't seem healed to me, and if she's vulnerable enough to want to be in love at this point, to really find it.
Okay, let me throw this at you. Those are some interesting points, and I'm not going to refute anything you said. Do you feel like, on the flip side, do you feel like Blake is healed? Do you feel like he's ready for love? Is he vulnerable? I just want to flip it around a little bit. What do you think? Blake
is getting by on his dimples. I don't think that Blake is really, really ready himself. I think it's an interesting thing that you bring up these two, because like Ron said, on paper, they're perfect for each other, but they both seem like they're not prepared or vulnerable enough to take that next step with somebody and really be in love for the long haul. I just don't see it.
Someone said it in the chat. Who was it? Which one of you guys? Someone said something really brilliant. They basically said that these two people, Jeffrey and Blake, they're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I just wrote in the private chat that they two peas in the same pot. Like they.
Girl, you gotta put that in the public chat. That was in the. I don't know if that was you that wrote it earlier.
No, I didn't write it. I didn't write that in the thing.
I didn't think so. I don't know if that was Mimi or High Five. Which one of you guys wrote that? Because that was.
But that's also why they're not clicking, though. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're too much alike with a person, it's just not gonna click up. Like especially when it's the negative sides of yourself. I wouldn't want to be with the negative parts of me, because I know
that he pursued her though.
The
only information we know is that he pursued her. We know this because that was part of the conversation. So he was.
That's the only information we know that they are
together. So I don't know. I think the only reason why she's
individuals.
not receptive to that, I think, has to do with production move.
It could be production, but I'm saying, as watching them as individuals, they're both alike.
Yeah, there it is. Ellen V said it. Our wonderful Ellen V.
They're both toxic, and two toxic chemicals together just not gonna work. Okay, like
no, it's not.
I think it could
because
work.
I'm gonna tell you, Ron. Listen,
all right,
and from Blake's side, okay, he may have married one of the children's mothers or whatever, but he didn't stay with any of them. Jeffrey, if she has 3 kids by 3 baby daddies, every time the dude drop a baby on her and don't stay with her, that's more pain. The next guy comes drop a baby, he don't stay.
Well,
more
now
pain.
we don't know if those 3 kids are with the same dad. We don't know.
We don't know. But we know she has 3 kids. We know she has 3 kids. And she's unmarried, and
he has
not in a
3
relationship.
kids. Yeah,
so that's a match.
from 3 different parts of his life, as he liked to put it, which basically he was saying to me 3 different baby mamas, but whatever.
But I'm just saying
on paper match, but if we don't line them up with the right amount of each, it's not gonna work. So one of it's gonna be air and one of it is gonna be explosives. So
and I'm just saying, Jay, once that wall go up, particularly from a man's perspective with a woman, once that wall go up, man, it's hard to get through that wall when a woman put them walls up because she's been hurt so many times. It's hard to get through that.
It's like that.
The flip side of that, to what you're saying, Alex, is too a man, not a male, but a man has to provide a safe space for a woman to let that guard down.
And she's 34. 3 kids at 34. I mean,
no, she's 31 or 32. He's Mark Anthony's 34.
Our chat is trying to say that she's actually 46 allegedly. I don't know.
But
come on, Jeffrey, and talk to
whatever
us.
age she's saying she is, 31 with 3 kids, is a lot. And
I don't believe she's that young. I don't believe she's 31. Now 34, it could be hit or miss, but I know she's not no 31. She don't look 31.
I thought it said
she's gorgeous, but she don't look 31.
I thought it said she was 34 in the essence thing.
Yeah, that's
but even 34 with 3 kids is still young.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
If you're raising them by yourself, you're right.
And I can believe that she doesn't have a lot of dating experience.
I mean, and she has young kids. So you have young kids and you on this type of show with babies? I mean,
because what were they saying on the show? I think her oldest was 9 and they went from 9 on down.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it with this with Jeffrey because I'm watching her very closely. And I want all of y'all to take this with you. As you go through the rest of this season, watch Jeffrey's expressions as she looks at the certain men or women. It's almost as if she's looking through them. Just watch her. There's a coldness there, and I'm trying to figure out what this is.
Well, maybe she's repressing just like Blake, because I see Blake repressing. Like when she picked the gentleman, she picked Mark Anthony as the best kisser, and he came over and gave that kiss. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I could see him swallowing from a mile away. He kept that stoic face of his, but that big old gulp swallow that he took told me that he was really into her, and he ain't fooling me.
That he's into who? Jeffrey?
He was into Jeffrey. Blake was, yes.
The 3 kids?
He's got 3. What you talking about?
Oh, no. Blake's in. No, I told you Blake's into Jeffrey. Looks wise, I see that match.
Right, but what I'm saying is you got to watch body signs. It's not always somebody's face.
He's not into Jeffrey no more because you can't trust him.
Well, now he wasn't after he did that big gulp, and he couldn't confront her because, like you said, she was somewhat a little bit, like what do you want? And I don't blame her, because if you pull me away from another gentleman, trust and believe you. First of all, I probably wouldn't have went. I would have said, well, this will have to wait for another time, because if I'm snuggling with some dude, you're not gonna come over and pull me away. No, what? I don't even like you.
So Ron, would you date someone with 3 kids?
Would I date someone with 3 kids?
Good question. Yeah. The plot thickens.
Yeah, I thought I never would, to be honest, but I think on my season, a person I probably should have talked to had 3 kids, and that scared me away. But I think that was a mistake.
Stacy B, right? Yep. I like Stacey B. What
I
happened?
love Stacey. That's my G. So like, you know what I mean? Like I would have dated Stacey. So I can't say about the 3 kids.
What about 3 younger kids? Stacey has older children.
Every situation is so different. I got to know the situation. I got to know how her schedule is. Because I like a lot of time for my girl. So 3 younger kids, if she don't have no time to spend with me, it's not going to involve with me because I like to be with my girl a lot. So, and if she can't get me into that family dynamic where I'm at the house and helping out and having a little flow and feeling that home spirit,
mm-hmm.
yeah, then it's going to be hard. So it depends on the woman a lot. What's her situation? How's she moving? What does she really want to move me in? But I would never say never on kids. I don't care what the amount is anymore. I got fooled so many times. I've been wrong so many times on the kid thing.
What do you mean by that, Ryan? You've been fooled on the kid?
Not fooled, but I mean I've been wrong. I'm gonna say I used to say I would never date a girl with a kid. Then I went to one's okay. Then I went to maybe 2. Then I said with the Stacey 3, maybe 3. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
I never really narrowed it down. So now
a great couple. I like both your vibes and your personality. You're both very outgoing, and I can see it.
But even with her on the show, I didn't dismiss her because she had 3 kids. I said, "What is my role? I don't know how to run a household with 3 kids. I don't have the experience. What will be my role in this? How are you going to put me into this game? Because I don't know. You know what I mean? I know a lot of other things. I have 0 experience at this." And that was the question I was kept trying to ask and didn't get the super answer that was.
You never really got an answer that satisfied your curiosity.
Yeah, my curiosity on it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. As we wrap up, Ryan, where can we find you at on IG? What's the name of your handle?
If you go to my IG, I think me and if you remember Tressa, some other reality TV people, we're gonna be on I think Fox News. I think it's Monday tomorrow. It might even be tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. I'll send a link.
Okay.
Talking about reality TV and all that stuff. So you can tune into that.
Awesome. You said who else is going to be on from
Tressa? Remember Tressa?
Of course. I remember Tressa.
Yeah, I love Tressa. That's my G. So it'd be fun to see. I haven't seen her in a while. It'd be good to see her.
Here we go. I was looking for this. Okay. And then moving on, Jay. Thank you so much, Ryan. Jay, would you like to tell them where we can find you at and what's going on with your channel? Jay?
Yeah, you can find me at Another Round JS, and Instagram Another Round _JS, and yeah, we're back in motion. So catch us on Mondays, mostly Mondays and Saturdays. So.
All right. And Keena, what's going on? Thank you so much for that, Jay. Keena, what's going on the Audacity?
You can find me on the Audacity on YouTube and at IG as well. And we do our podcast on Thursdays. And you can also catch me at @she_is_cookie as well.
Very good. Very good. Guys, we want to thank you. Want to thank all of our panelists being here. Ron, Jay, Keena. Oh God, I'm not going to even say that magnetic repellent guy up there in the middle. We want to thank him. He's done so much for this channel. He really has. He's helped me to just really stay in the vibe. And guys, you viewers out there, row. All of you, I mean, I can't even Mimi, high vibe. You guys keep me here. You really do. Join the membership, guys, if you can. And if not, just keep on liking the videos. Keep playing it. Keep sharing it with your friends. That's how you can help. It's free 99 today and every day here on YouTube. We love you guys. Say bye.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. We're out, guys. We're out.